What's going on, IBB Nation? It is IBB James with another hashtag IBB Top 3. I am very honored and excited to be here with Matt Evers of Evers Photography. And before we get into your top 3, why don't you show us a little example of what you can do, my man?
Awesome. Hey, IBB Nation, what's up? Matt Evers, Evers Photography here. Professional photographer, shooting corporate events, real estate, family portraiture, and most recently, fine art and landscape designs. This is one of the examples that we got out right now. This was actually a international print submission to an international print competition. Actually placed. Unfortunately, didn't merit a full award, but did place out of approximately 30,000 photographers. And that's what we try and do. Is we try and bring in imagery that will not only be pleasing to the eye, but also increase your event space, your corporate office, kind of like the print at IBB headquarters, seen in the background of some of the infamous IBB videos. So,
the picture that we always have in the background of our IBB Fortunate videos is actually Matt's work.
Yes.
Limited edition. So
yes.
you always do a limited edition. You don't, you're not printing thousands of copies on purpose.
Correct.
So you'll see his little signature in there too. But he's you've done a lot of great things, and I got to come clean because before I started, like Matt and I, we've known each other a long time,
right? But
we kind of connected on a business level.
We did,
and then you hey, you want to? I got some artwork that I think would look great in your office, and bring it in, and ended up you had exactly what I was looking for.
Right.
Then as a thank you, you gave me the book, hashtag Ask Gary V.
Correct, yeah.
And little did I know, that was going to be probably one of the most monumental things, not only happened to me, but also happened to IBB Gary.
Right.
I shared it, like, you have to check this out, man. You gotta, and everybody else that, since then that we've shared it with, that we're getting a lot of good feedback of like this Gary Vaynerchuk guy's, I'm like, holy cow, like he's on a whole nother level. So,
he is.
So that's where it's been very cool. In our first IBB Fortunate video, it's like, hey, we had this idea in our head. Gary V and Matt Evers, you helped motivate us to get it out on the internet, and here we are. Up to that point, I had 2 videos of that idea of this IBB top 3, and it was like 2 videos in like 3 months, or just something like not okay. But since then, I think we're almost at 40 videos,
which is awesome.
So just kind of
thank you, IBB Nation, for following this guy.
Yeah, oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you. So I'm very, very excited to dig into your top 3 because you have that edge with Gary Vee, the never let up mentality, and with I can't say enough about how I've been impressed how you're able to do so many things so well. And without further ado, man, let's what do you say we dig into the top 3?
All right.
And I'll just be quiet.
All right, IBB Nation, here's my top 3 keys to business success. The first one, like James hit on, when I first approached him about buying one of my print sales, which was actually one of the first print sales I'd actually made. So I was super happy when he came in and said yes to supporting me and what I was trying to do. And one of the things that like Gary Vaynerchuk's big on, and a lot of people who are really at the top of their game are big on, is paying it back to your customers, always bringing it back to them and paying it back, which is why I gave him the book. We had small conversations back and forth of this is what I'm looking to do, this is what I want to do. And I thought the perfect way to help him was to give him a connection to somebody that could help propel his endeavors or his future goals. And I think that's really kind of why I dropped that book on you. Introduced it to him. And it's part of where my passion comes from is you have to be obsessed about what you're doing, which is my first key to business success. You have to be completely obsessed. And some people will say, well, they are obsessed. They are. I do this and do this. Well, if you're not working on Sundays, you're not working on Saturdays, you're not working till 9 o'clock in the morning, you're not coming in at 6 a.m.
9 o'clock at night.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay,
But even 9 o'clock in the
start
morning.
at 8 a.m. and at 9 a.m.
But some people,
okay.
even to some people, 9 a.m. is early. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you hear a level of complaining that, well, I'm doing everything I can. It's just not working. It's just not working. Well, then you need to look at what are you not doing? Yeah. Are you not giving up Sundays with football? You know, and James is a perfect example. I can't tell you how many times that James is checking in somewhere in an awards banquet supporting somebody else at 9 p.m. at night when he could be home with his wife.
Yeah,
sorry,
Erica.
Yeah, sorry, Erica.
Yeah, but that's something, Erica supports me a lot in that. But yeah, no, there's definitely, but I love it.
Yeah, right? I mean,
love every second of it.
And, Grant Cardone, which is another person I've been following lately, has this philosophy of 10x your actions. And what he means by that, very great book. Yep. I definitely recommend it, 10x by Grant Cardone. And what he talks about is taking massive amounts of action. If you think it's going to take you, Y action to get you the results you need, then you need to go 10 times above that. And it sounds simple, but the actual application of it is not. Yeah. And it comes into, networking, which is almost my second point of business, which is shifting your key influences. You're shifting your influential circle of people. Okay,
so first it is you got to be obsessed with.
You got to be committed.
And then two, you said so. I like where you're going with this. So you said shift your center of influence. So your center of influence isn't always the center. It keeps moving with you as you grow. Is that?
Yeah, kind of. And part of it too, though, is aligning with people that are going to promote you in what you're doing, right? Mm-hmm. Supporting you, right? Erica, huge support circle for you, right?
Huge.
Couldn't do it without that positive support.
Definitely not.
But how many times do we look around at people who are negative about what we're trying to do? Me, promoting my artwork. It's a very subjective thing, and it's a very judgmental thing. Art is very judgmental especially to individuals, right? There's such an opportunity for rejection there. Yep. But people who support you need that support structure. So you should be surrounding yourself with it. And sometimes the most negative people can come from the most surprising of areas. Family members, are you sure you really want to do this? Is this really what you want to do? And it goes back to being obsessed. You have to be obsessed about what you want to do.
Yep. And I guess so. And I feel that people feel that their idea or their business, that's the one idea or business that is like 100% always going to be the best thing no matter what. And you got to believe that.
Absolutely.
But you got to be prepared that, so like the 10x rule, you got to be prepared that you're going to have to talk to 10 people to get one. Maybe, hopefully.
Right.
But I know for me, like we talking about having that the people around you to support you. There's a ton of rejection. I mean, there's days I'm just like, man, I feel like I just got drop kicked in the face.
Absolutely.
And it's not that you're necessarily doing anything wrong, just things aren't going your way. But definitely, I know every time I look forward to talking to you, right? Because I know it's even though we're not in the same industry and
completely different.
We may not even talk for a month or however long.
Right.
I know that you are going to be someone who's going to pick me up when I'm down. Or that we're at least on the same wavelength of I can say, hey, I got this going on, and you kind of we finish each other's sentences in a good way, Yeah. So, but no, I like that a lot because I don't think people realize how terrible that. So just someone just saying no. Someone could say no super nicely. But it still hurts.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right, and that's a great point, which I think I'll come back to later. But going back to the book and giving you the book, you were one of the people that we've never before that. You and I would hang out here and there, but now I feel like our conversations are 10 times more meaningful.
Yep.
Two, I feel like we communicate with each other way more often than we were before.
Yep.
And I just go back to that book, the gesture and everything, and it's all because of that. You're one of the people that I saw striving for. You're really working at it. You're a very positive influence, and you were somebody that I wanted in my circle. You were somebody that I wanted next to me because
I'm in the circle, baby.
yeah, because you support me. You know what I mean? even when I do experience that rejection or that negativity, I know I can call you and be like, dude, I'm really struggling with this. What can I do to, try and fix it? And I know right then and there, you're gonna come at me with some positive advice. Yep. Dude, you're doing great. You need to do this, this, and this. Just change this up a little bit. And that's really what it's all about. It comes down to, what are your goals? And that's my third point on keys of business success here.
They're kind of important. That's kind of like the whole idea, right?
Right.
Where are we taking this business train? Yeah.
Exactly. And honestly, it's probably the most important one of all, because there's an interesting statistic out there that says 95% of the world does not write down their goals. Only 5% do. But 5% of the people who write down their goals control 95% of the wealth in the world. And when you think about that statistic, that is very punch you in your face.
Yeah.
Right? Only 5% of the people in the world write down their goals. But yet they control 95% of the wealth.
Yeah.
So you need to be writing down your goals every day, looking at them. What am I doing to put myself in a position to succeed and achieve this goal? And when you write down your goals, don't write it down like, well, I want to do X, Y, and Z. Write it down as if you've already completed it. I have completed X, Y, and Z. And then below it, list your daily successes. List those things that, those small little victories.
Yep.
And when you pick your goals, make sure you're picking goals that generate massive action. Going back to that 10X rule. Pick goals that are going to have massive impacts. I want to sell 100 print sales this year. I have achieved $150,000 in gross sales. Those are massive actions. Then focus on your small daily victories to get you towards those actions.
Yes.
And I think that's really, one of the biggest things of all, because like you said, going back to it, what are you trying to achieve with your business?
Yeah, and going back about the rejection and the 10X rule and all that, if you don't have a goal, if you can't literally see yourself with 100 prints sold, with your income, and money isn't everything, and money's for most people, I feel that if you're driven by money, you're in trouble.
Yeah,
because obsessing about money creates terrible things. That creates terrible scenarios for everybody involved. So, but you're obsessed with I have a vision of this goal, and I see myself, I'm already there in my mind, but it gets you through all the nonsense you gotta deal with in the meantime.
Right.
And I've said this before, but it's just the cool thing about setting goals that are huge and impactful, and they might seem impossible, but striving for that extremely elevated goal, anything that actually is possible, you are getting every single one, and and same thing. You're obsessed. I kind of in a good way,
right?
Especially as an artist,
healthy.
You're like a perfectionist in a good way, where you're just all right, I gotta have You're out looking for the perfect shot. You're looking for that perfect moment. If it for a corporate event or a wedding, or so with IBB Gary with his little baby photo,
right, yes,
that. So coming soon, IBB Quinn. You're trying to capitalize on that perfect moment. But it's that's how you got to treat your business and your life, is that it's never going to be perfect, but you have to be focused on capitalizing on that. And if you don't have the goal, the vision of what that is, then you're lost.
You're lost,
how
right?
To do it. Yeah,
right.
Lost is not good. So all right, so recapping, we got first you got to be obsessed about your business.
You have to be obsessed about what you're trying to do, and taking massive action to get you towards that success.
And the massive action is kind of leading us to that goal. So it's all right, I'm obsessed about this goal, and being obsessed about it, taking massive action towards it is going to get me there. But also too, with the third one that you had mentioned is you need the right people. You don't need a ton of people.
No,
you just need a few key people that are going to help. When you start you feel like you're taking 20 steps forward,
right?
And then, but 100 steps back some days, so you need those people to say it's okay. You can do it.
Absolutely.
So, very cool. And I know you read a lot of books, and that's something that you and I talk a lot about too. So
it's actually my secret one.
Your secret,
right?
Secret fourth.
Right, my secret fourth one that I didn't tell James I was sneaking in. Education is huge, right? And I don't always have a lot of time to read books anymore. And I just recently did a blog post about this, about how reading is antiquated, it's old, it's out of date, and it's just a waste of time. And I got a lot of negative feedback from it until people started reading it. One thing you'll find as you're taking 10x actions, your time dissipates. You don't have time, and you don't have downtime, right? You're always doing something to promote yourself and put yourself towards something, a better goal, or completing your own goals. And one of the things I discovered was audiobooks.
Love audiobooks.
And it was such a huge, like, major key to
major key alert.
Major key alert, right? So it was a huge game changer for me. I hadn't picked up a book probably in 10 years, and now when I pick up books, it just puts me to sleep right away. And now that I've discovered audiobooks, I've read 6 books in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's not so much about quantity, right? It's about the quality of the read. Yeah, how well do you retain that information back?
Yeah, I love Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, all that, but like, I'm not listening to that. Like for me, like after I got some of my major certifications, it's when I first met Erica, and she'd give me a hard time. Like every day there was new books showing up on my doorstep, and I ended up buying 2 bookshelves, and I was all proud of I got all these books, I'm gonna read all these books. And I grabbed the first book, and I was all excited to read it, and I sit down, and I'm like, oh crap, I suck at reading, I forgot. So
right.
Yeah, the audiobooks, that has been life-changing. I know that's because you can sneak it in, like if you're
driving to a meeting, you're walking around your house cleaning, you can have it on, and you're really, you can't make more time in the day, right? You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. Time is the most valuable asset we have. Yeah. So if you can find something that not only educates you and elevates your level of thinking and your mindset, but also while completing another task, that's just smart.
Yeah,
right?
It's like, I believe in my executive coaching class, they're talking about it's like stealth learning.
Yeah.
It's like what are things that I do every day that I could sneak in some education.
Right.
And do you feel that after you listen to an audiobook, whether it's 5 minutes of it or 5 hours of whatever, do you feel like whatever happens next, you're just so much more prepared, mindset-wise and attitude-wise?
Absolutely, and especially with a lot of the books I've been listening to, and I'm not talking about fictional books like Game of Thrones and stuff like that. While they're great novels and stuff, you have to ask yourself, what is it doing to help me and achieve my goals? Going back to that major key, and a lot of the books I'm listening to are self-help books, sales training, personal growth, how to become a better leadership, all of those types of things. What are your top 3 books right now?
For me,
that you've read this year? Top 3 books that have helped you get to your goals this year.
Tag Ask Gary V, number 1.
Yes,
by far.
Huge.
And then immediately I read his book, Crush It.
Awesome book.
Then I immediately read his book, Thank You Economy.
The Thank You Economy, yeah.
And then I got it was a Jab, Jab, Right Hook. I still got to read that, but so that's something those 3 stick out in my mind. I read them all in a week.
Yeah.
I got me so fired up, and I read them all week. And then, but one I'm listening to now, it's called Destructive, I believe it's Destructive Emotions.
Okay.
And this guy, Daniel Goleman, he's big. He wrote stuff about social intelligence, emotional intelligence, and there's a lot of science behind it. But they're actually working with Buddhists.
Oh, okay.
They're working with the Dalai Lama, and just kind of it's cool how you have science and just the whole you look at them on paper, these have nothing in common, but it's just kind of cool how it all brings together. So that's something I will say it's helped me force myself to literally, I will right now I'll look around and be how cool is this?
Right.
Just appreciate this moment, and so just again little things I'll pick up, but definitely that book, Crush It, and Ask Gary V.
What's one book you're looking forward to reading in the next 6 months?
One book I'm looking forward to read. I have a whole bunch that I need to in my Audible account.
The one you're most excited about, or the one you think that's going to help you the most?
The one I think is going to help me the most. That I would say it'd have to be jab, jab, right hook.
There you go.
And again, I know it's something that it's one of Vaynerchuk's older books.
I think it came out in
gonna-
2013 or 2014.
But I feel that it's still, everything he talks about is so relevant, but
Sure.
also it helps me wrap my head around his daily videos that I'm like I did an Instagram video or Instagram story or whatever. I didn't know I didn't know that it was happening. And B, I would, even if I did know it was happening, I probably wouldn't have done it, but he's out there doing Instagram videos. So I'm like, I guess I need to do that, you know? So, and I think that definitely jab, jab, right hook. So what about you though?
So, top 3 that I've read this year that have been very influential in growing me personally, but also growing my business. Number 1 was Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. Talking about good sales training and what you need to do to establish good, meaningful relationships in the sales process. 2, 6 Months to Six Figures by Peter Vogt.
Okay.
Very, very inspirational book, speaking towards personal mentality, positive vibes, how to elevate your level of thinking, shifting your circle of influence, which is where I got that from. And then I'd actually have to say Crush It Too by Gary Vee. I hadn't read that before and picked that up. So
That was what, 2009?
yeah, that was one of his first books. I think it went to New York Times bestseller. So
yeah, for IBB Nation, if you're good at reading,
Homework
read
assignment.
it, homework assignment. But I like listening to the audiobook too, because Gary's getting fired up.
Yep,
You're
you feel that energy.
Like any author that reads their own book, I feel those are the best ones because you're getting fired up with them. But that's your homework, IBB Nation, is A, make sure you put Matt Evers hashtag IBB top 3 things to work, and then use that stealth to insert education and knowledge into what you're doing every day anyway. But the thing I absolutely love, and you're gonna love about reading anything and everything Gary Vaynerchuk is it's like he's from the future.
I'll tell you what. Why don't we do this, right? Let's do a little contest, all right?
Okay. Ooh,
all right. So this weekend, let's check out some pictures of your followers around town. Okay. Drop them with the hashtag IBB top 3. James and I will look through them. The top photograph that we pick, I will send you a edition of the Ask Gary Vee book.
Perfect.
So
signed?
Yeah, I'll sign it.
All right,
definitely. James and I will both sign it.
We'll sign it.
This weekend, let's say by Sunday, top 3 hashtag IBB photography contest. Let's see what you guys come up with, and we'll get that book out to you.
All right, very good. All right, IBB Nation. Well, thanks again. Again, IBB James here with Matt Evers, Evers Photography. Hashtag IBB top 3. We'll pick a winner, and we'll get you some autographed books of books we didn't write, but you'll love
but books we've read and enjoyed.
Have a good one. We'll see you next time.